Good evening. I thought it was probably time that we updated the whole housing bug issue, as we've had a little bit of progress since the last time I put a video out about this. Now, TLDW, is the housing bug fixed? No, it isn't. Is it on its way to being fixed? Yes, it absolutely is. So, first of all, you probably noticed that there was a very minor maintenance. It was about 90 minutes the other night. And if you were like me, you got super excited and thought, oh my god, they finally fixed it. But alas, no. This was just a very, very necessary step that they needed to take because the deadlines for the original lottery were about to expire. To put it basically, you put your lottery in, and you then have 4 days to claim it. And if you don't claim it, then you pretty much just release the plot and you get fined essentially half of the deposit you made. And you can imagine if you're paying 20 million gil for a property, that's quite an expensive mistake to make. They have managed to identify what the problem was, and the problem was essentially that the lottery numbers themselves and the lottery server were perfectly fine. You know, they managed to drag them all in, they got all the right numbers, that was great. The thing that wasn't working was the communication between the lottery server and the housing server, who actually was to process the results. So this meant that when the correct information came through and the housing server couldn't interpret it properly, it presumably just went, oh, well, I guess it's just zero then, and Tataru ended up owning about 85% of the available lottery housing. Now, I'm sure Tataru's happy with that, but I don't think anybody else was. So now that they've identified that, they have managed to implement a fix, and they got it on their test servers. And once test servers have all come through and everything's fine there, then they will be ready to deploy it. The maintenance last night was just to extend those days, so you know, when you finally get the entire fix through, it's not going to completely mess up the whole thing. I mean, if you could imagine, if they hadn't extended it to April the 30th, now the new deadline for claiming your house, you could have a situation where the lottery numbers are transmitted again to the housing server. The housing server goes, you've won, well done. Oh, but wait, you didn't claim within the 4 days, and so you haven't won after all, and I'll take half your gil at the same time. Not a great outcome. So, at the moment, what we're waiting for now is them to go through the fairly painstaking process of going through each plot one by one, because of course people have claimed a refund, and because they presumed that they'd lost. They hadn't lost, it was a bug, or maybe they did lose, who knows, but they're going to have to go through each plot one by one in every single ward, which is going to take a not inconsiderable amount of time to determine whether or not people really did win after all, and whether or not they still want to purchase the property. Now, that opens a new can of worms as well, because you think, say, a very handsome young moo cow decided they were going to buy a property, they found out they lost, they claimed the money back, and then they decided they didn't want to do housing anymore, and the net result of that is that they went and spent it all on, you know, in-game wine. And so they don't have the money to pay for the property. And then Square Enix pop along and wave at them frantically saying, actually, you did win. And well, I don't have the money now. What happens there? We don't know. Square Enix's problem, and I'm sure they will come up with a solution. So I know it's frustrating, but for now, just hold your fire. We're almost there. This is my first house too, so it's a frustrating experience for me because I thought I was within an ace of getting my first plot, and it was all very exciting. But you know, it will happen. It will happen. Just hang in there, and we'll just have to wait for Square Enix to do their things. But yeah, I just wanted to update you on how things are going, and I will update you again when we have a little bit more progress. But until then, have an excellent evening, and I will see you later. Ta-ta!